I'd rather be alone in my peace than with someone in chaos.
You know, lawyers, they make a lot of money. That's a big salary. Time freedom is not. It's a blessing just seeing somebody on the street wearing like custom product, but being at a game and then seeing not just one person, but a whole group of dancers on the court with all of these fans being able to see it, like that's crazy. It's a crazy feeling.
You have to be obsessed with it. You can't it can't be a hobby, because if you treat it like a hobby, you're going to get hobby results.
I could pursue law and do what looks great on paper, or I could honor what feels right in my soul.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the rawest corner of the culture, where money meets mindset, fitness meets fashion, and everybody does something going on. So today we are episode 7.
Episode 7.
That's like a lucky number or something, right?
Today's special, man.
Oh,
Today is special because this is the first girl that was showcased.
we needed it. Female energy.
Yes, sir.
That's what we needed.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, we need that because there's a lot of testosterone here. And we got, a lot of female supporters, and we wanted to give something special. So we brought somebody that's a special person. She got a lot going on, whether it's shop crystals, doing their own custom designs, make things work, or working with, a variety of sports teams and, sports families provided custom material and, helping create a brand and an image for, man,
Big
NBA,
league.
NFL.
Big league sports teams, not little leagues, big ones.
Exactly, bro. Like the epitome in my eyes of a hustle mindset and, a beautiful thing for females to tune into and kind of get some tips on how to navigate this crazy business world, right? So we got Miss Brookelynn with us. What's up, Brookelynn? Absolutely. We're excited to have you. We've been talking about this for a minute, and I think we all agree that you are perfect for what this podcast wants to showcase.
Well, I appreciate y'all for having me and for being the first female.
Absolutely.
I think that's dope. So.
Yeah, and we've known each other for a while now. I mean, we met.
How did we meet? I can't remember.
So we met when you were shooting with Jonathan.
Okay.
Remember we went to that that abandoned airfield or something, and we shot with the Ferrari. Yeah, that was a dope shoot. We come a long way from that.
That was forever ago.
Yeah, so like we spoke about here, we really want to showcase like your journey and where you started, where you're at now, and how you got there in between. So tell us a little bit about Brookelynn, things that we don't know. Like, let's go back to day one. How did this start? I know you went to ASU, right?
I did, yeah. I went to Arizona State University. I got my degree in criminal justice. The goal was to go to law school.
Mm-hmm.
Once you pass the LSAT and take the bar exam, it's almost guaranteed achievement and success in the salary. At that point, I was working at the prosecutor's office in Surprise as an intern, and I realized two things. I didn't want to spend my life in an office and read documents all day. Two, time freedom was so important to me.
Yeah.
Being in the law field is very emotional, and I'm an empath, which basically means I can put myself in other people's shoes and almost feel their emotions. So reading cases about domestic violence and car accidents, that's really heavy information. I realized that was not the correct field for me anymore. So I had a decision to make. I could pursue law and do what looks great on paper, or I could honor what feels right in my soul. At that moment, I didn't know what felt right. The pandemic hit shortly after that. I taught myself how to sew during the pandemic. I created my LLC during the pandemic. I started creating bikinis and velour sweatsuits and reworking jerseys. From there, designing was just so unexpected, but it was so aligned.
I love that.
Yeah.
So moving forward, I'm just so intentional with every project, every design that I take part in and put my name on. I just want everything to align with my morals and my overall goal of impacting through exclusive fashion.
Yeah, and I can speak to that because as long as I've known you and following your journey, even for a man, it's been extremely inspirational. Like I've seen you hustling and doing it.
Yeah, I've been watching for a while.
Yeah,
that's dope. It's really dope to see.
And B, you haven't changed who you are the entire time, and I applaud you for that because I know, and the world that you're in, it's easy to change and be a different person, but you've stood 10 toes on that. But I mean, making that jump, it's got to be scary.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, one of your questions that you had sent me earlier was, when was the vision clear? Yeah. It was never clear. This entire time, like, I've just been taking it day by day. Honestly, I never knew I would be designing for the NBA and the WNBA dance teams. Like, that was never just written on my vision board. You know, that all happened in divine timing. I thank God every day for getting me this far in my career and for waking me up today and giving me an opportunity to share my testimony today. Right. I think it's just so powerful. Amen. And don't get me wrong, like I am still very passionate about the criminal justice system. My original goal was to become a defense attorney and help those that have been wrongly convicted. I personally know somebody that was wrongly convicted, and that definitely fuels my passion. Soon, I hope to, combine the two, fashion and shining light on the criminal justice system and how corrupt it really is. I don't know what that looks like yet, but in the future, definitely something's going to happen.
I don't want to skip the fact that you were first going to become a lawyer. And I was going to ask you if you have always had that creative spark, but you also said that it was very unexpected. So then I want to hear more. What inclined Brookelynn into becoming a lawyer? Was that more because, I wanted to make my family proud? And from that, why did you decide to start sewing?
So growing up, I was always into fashion. I always had a different body shape. Like I was smaller than a lot of people, so when I was shopping and everything, I couldn't find clothing that fit. So I'm like always messing around with my clothes, trying to make it work, so I was always into fashion, but becoming a lawyer was definitely like influenced by my family. Again, I know somebody that was wrongly convicted, so I'm like, wow, this is like fueling my passion. I need to help them, But also, my family are always encouraging me to get a good job. The American dream: get a good job, have a big career with the guaranteed salary. So that was, I mean, my degree originally was in biology. I'm like, let me be an.
Were you going to become a doctor?
Yeah, like the highest paying one.
Okay, but then hold on. So you've been a creative. You wanted to design, or you've liked design since you were a little kid. For a moment, I thought that during COVID was when you just decided to pick up a sewing machine and start doing it, and you discovered it. So it sounds more like you've been doing this already for quite a while.
I mean, I didn't sew forever. During the pandemic is when I learned how to sew. But before that, like growing up as a child, my mom would take me to the craft store, and I would be doing everything, making soap and just random little craft things. You know what I mean? So I was always creative. I never knew I would be a designer, though. That was never just when I was 10, like, oh, I'm going to be a fashion designer designing for the NBA. Like, that was never just written.
Yeah, that's dope, because you said something earlier. You said, they say it's like the American dream. I think someone would argue even what you're doing now is the American dream. Like, instead of taking the route, I would honestly say it's like the easy route, right? Obviously, like, becoming a lawyer isn't easy, but like picking a career path like that's like a common career path, and they tell you to follow this, and it comes with so much money. Like, you pick something, in my eyes, it's so much harder. Like, you started your own business off of something that you had no idea where this is going to go. So like, that's one of those things. It's like, as a creative, you always got to take that leap at some point and go 100% in on whatever you're doing.
You just got to just jump. Yeah. You know what I mean? I'm curious as to, like, when you started sewing, like, how was that connection made with all the people that you're working with now? Was it like did someone, they saw you on Instagram, or did someone refer you, or did it just, how did that come about?
Yeah, so rewind to March of 2022. I had created I reworked the Suns jersey, the Valley jersey. I ended up turning it into a dress. I know you haven't seen it.
Yeah, I've seen it. I remember that one.
Yeah, with the chains on the sides. That went viral on TikTok. I think it got about 3 million views.
Nice.
6 million.
Powerful.
Yeah, so I sold so many of those, and I was actually walking around downtown Phoenix, around the Phoenix Suns Arena, just selling these jerseys, like literally jerseys on my arm, ready to sell them to these people walking outside. And I ended up running into one of the Suns players' managers. He saw the jersey and he loved it. He asked if I could put it into a fashion show the following day. And then he also invited me into the game that night. So it was dope. Like, he gave me a family credential, which gave me floor access, basically. And, you know, that's the prime area to network. So I saw Alicia, the Phoenix Suns host, and I just walked right up to her. I asked her if I could design her a custom jacket, and she was so sweet and so genuine. She immediately agreed, and I've been designing for her ever since. So that was my way, just putting myself out there and networking, getting myself into that building. And, you know, she introduced me to the entertainment team of the Suns. And from there, it's been word of mouth advertisement since. Literally, I've never paid for an ad on social media, ever.
That's so
and we
dope.
got to talk later because I know you're so good at marketing. So, you know, I'm ready now to be able to put money into marketing and really expand my business. But so far, I've never paid for an ad. It's all been just people speaking for me, pretty much.
And I love that. First of all, shout out to Alicia.
Yes. Shout out to her.
I've seen everything. Y'all have become like best friends.
Yeah, we traveled together. She baptized me.
Really?
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
That's
That's
beautiful.
awesome.
My girl.
And see, like, that's something, and I know it's something that Steve would touch on, that building those network relationships.
Yeah.
And how do you go about making sure that those relationships are just so pure? Because there's a lot of times you get into those situations and, you know, certain people make it feel like, oh, like, I just need what I need from you kind of deal. But like I said, like, you and Alicia, like, I see you guys everywhere on social media. And obviously, like you said, word of mouth, it just spreads to other teams. You've worked with a variety of teams. So how do you keep that relationship so pure, and how do you keep all your relationships so pure while doing business at the same time?
Yeah, that's so important to me. And again, I'm an empath, but I can also read energy. So if I feel like people are trying to use me, I'll just back out. Like, that is not for me. With her, like, our collaboration, our partnership, it's so important to like promote women empowerment and how this is not a competition. You can work together as women, also with men, and just really promote yourselves and win together. It's not a competition. Like, there's a lane for everybody.
Absolutely.
There's multiple designers out there, and we all have our own lane and our own purpose. So I'm going to follow what's right for me, whatever that means in the future. But that's important to us, is just to, you know, want to see each other win.
Absolutely. And, you know, I could go ahead and speak for the team and say, like, women empowerment is very precious to us here, especially, like, you know, being dads. Like, I'm a girl dad. Costa's a girl dad, right? So, like, we want to ensure that we open the door for women to win here as well.
Absolutely.
So we're happy to have you again. We're happy for you to even speak about it on the podcast. And, you know, you're doing amazing things.
Thank you so much.
So it's great to hear all these things, and your business is spread so far, and, like, just for word of mouth. So, like, how many teams have you worked with?
I had a feeling you were going to ask that.
Yeah.
I don't even know at this point. It's
That's
about
fine.
half of the NBA.
That's
The
a good
goal is
problem.
to work with all 30 NBA teams, all 32 NFL teams, and expand to MLB and whatever high school teams, college, you know.
Yeah.
That's the goal eventually. But again, I'm taking it day by day, just, you know, staying in alignment and letting everything happen when it needs to happen, you know.
Absolutely.
I want to take us back to that pre-COVID or COVID that you mentioned, because I'm still trying to wrap my head around with the whole deal of, you invested so much to go to law school. And then, sure, you realize that you're getting impacted by everything that you're reading and the cases and whatnot. Was that the whole scenario that sparked, like, I need to jump out of this and find something else? And that's why you decided to pick up the sewing machine?
Not necessarily. I mean, at that point, I was finishing my internship and I was graduating, and I actually served at 3 different restaurants. I was hustling. Like, the goal was law school again. And, you know, the pandemic hit. All of those jobs closed. So at this point, I'm like, okay, now I'm on unemployment, and who knows what's going to happen.
Right.
Against the wall.
I was just like, okay, I'm going to utilize this time to figure out what I really want to do. And again, I was always creative, and my mom had a sewing machine, and so I'm like, okay, let me figure this out, you know. So it was a busted, like, from the 90s sewing machine. It was, you know, brand new, nothing. So I taught myself just the basics. I started making dresses and just random things. And it just started getting traction online. You know, people were reaching out like, hey, I'll buy that, you know. It was never like, oh, let me start a website right now and just sell this. It was just like people DMing me, hey, I really like that. Can I get one? And then I don't know if y'all remember like the velour sweatsuits that I did with the zodiac signs. Those went crazy viral. I saw thousands of those.
It's a niche right there.
Yeah,
that's a niche.
So when you so you start sewing and you start doing your pieces and you start creating. I know you said that there wasn't a clear moment specifically where you're like, oh yeah, the vision is clear and I'm going to double down on this. What kept you in there given that the vision wasn't clear? Because you had something extremely safe, people would say, and then just kept going after something that wasn't clear enough.
Yeah, I mean, I think the time freedom is what really motivated me. Like, I see people working all day, working a 9 to 5, and there's no hate against that. Some people, that's just best for them and their family and everything. But for me, I saw a bigger dream. Like, I want to be financially free. I want to wake up and do whatever I want. I want to travel. And traveling is huge to me. I love going to the beach and just different things. So that was a priority to me. And I just knew sitting in an office, although, you know, lawyers, they make a lot of money. That's a big salary. Time freedom is not what they have. And that was more important to me than money. So even when I started designing, I wasn't the wealthiest person ever. But it was worth it to me to just continue that dream and continue hustling to see where it could take me. I mean, again, I just took it day by day. I don't even know how I got right here. I just give it to God.
So for example, okay, so this is so cool. This is interesting, man, and this is what it's about, right? We try to be as selfish as we can for the audience, and so we could extract everything from your head. You're creating these pieces. You're talking about freedom. Did you fall under the trap of underpricing your stuff?
Oh, yeah.
How did you started realizing, no, I got to get my prices up? Or what did that test period look like? Were you giving out free stuff? Let's go ahead and double down on that.
Yeah, I mean, as a business owner, which y'all probably know too, like, especially with clothing lines, like, you have to give out free product and do collaborations in order to get your name out there. For me, I was doing a lot of just random photo shoots and pulling up to mansion parties and selling my merch there, like bikinis and stuff. I definitely undercut myself. Like, when I was doing the velours, at first, I'm like, I don't know how much I should sell this for. You know, I'm customizing this. It's all Swarovski crystals, which are very expensive on their own. They're not just rhinestones. And, you know, these are custom made, so I didn't know where to price myself. At that time, people meaning my family, they were saying like, yeah, you should price them lower. You know, we would probably sell more. Well, at that point, I'm spending so much time into each product.
That's always
it's not worth it. I would rather somebody, you know, have to save up for my product and then appreciate it and cherish it more and take care of it and want to wear it and want to promote it than just spending all this time and barely making money.
Yeah, and that's kind of something we spoke about on past episodes, is like creating something that makes a legacy. Yeah. Instead of just like lasting for right now, like it means something. People value it more, right? Yeah. So I want to ask, in all this, obviously, like, you didn't have a vision and like things were just growing and going along. And like you say, you gave it to God and let him guide you in the way. But how did you start creating the brand? Like, how did you start having the idea for what the image is going to be, what the voice is going to be, like what you're going to present to the world? How did that start coming along?
That was probably the most difficult part for me because I don't have a background in business or marketing or anything. So me starting my LLC and everything, I did that on my own. I did research. I didn't have anybody to help me do that. With my brand Shop Crystals, the only reason why it's called that is because I was using the Swarovski crystals on my product. Right. I'm like, I need a business name ASAP so I can start a website and start making money. You know what I mean? So I just came up with that name, and it's like I'm too far gone. I can't change it now. Like people tell me by that. So I guess with the business, like just putting the crystals on everything, and that really sells. Like even on men's clothing now, it's like
those right, like they're everywhere.
Yeah, so, yeah.
I want to highlight something that I think went over a lot of people's heads is that you were out there hustling your dresses in front of the stadium. You know how many people they're scared to even post on the internet, let alone go out there and actually hustle. Like, that's like my biggest, that when I hear you talking, I'm like, yo, you put in the legwork. There's a lot of people who, hell, I've never even done that. You know what I'm saying? I've been selling clothes forever. Like, maybe when I started in the beginning, I was like, I went to concerts, stuff like that, but I hated it. You know what I'm saying? But I knew that's what you needed to do if you wanted to get your name out there, and exactly what you did. So I like, even for the audience, for the people out there, like, I talk about this for all the people, the clothing line owners that come on here. I say, like, look, this has to be an obsession. You have to be obsessed with it. You can't it can't be a hobby, because if you treat it like a hobby, you're going to get hobby results. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But if you treat it like a $1 million business, you might not be a millionaire yet. But the funds are just pending, you know what I'm saying? Because you're treating it as such. And so I commend you. I just wanted to highlight that before we got further, because I think that went over a lot of people's heads. Yeah. She put in the legwork, you know what I'm saying? And she's out, and it's Arizona, bro. It's not like, you know what I mean? It's not like it's cold, you know what I mean?
It's hit 115.
Yeah, you know what I mean? It's hot here, you know what I mean? And it takes a lot of balls and a lot of courage to go up to somebody and be like, hey, you want to buy my jersey? You want to buy my creation? Hell, I get scared just to post some of my hoodies. I was like, bro, please someone buy my shit. Please someone buy my shit. You know what I mean? I still get that feeling. So I can only imagine being in front of someone, looking them dead in the eye and be like, you should buy my product. You know what I mean? And having that faith and that confidence, and to believe in someone to do that, and then someone actually doing it, and then them taking you to the next level. I salute you for that, because I think that, it takes a lot of cojones, you know what I'm saying? So I appreciate that.
I want to, and I mean, we're all entrepreneurs here. We all face constant battles in terms of, we get tested. And we truly have what it takes to continue this journey. So I want to bring you to one of the first ones that you encounter where you're like, I don't think I'm going to continue doing this. However, you kept going.
God, I hate those moments.
Yeah, so I do most of the designs. I do everything on my own. Like I was telling you guys earlier, I hire seamstresses here and there to help me out. I think one of the moments where I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't do this anymore. I was working on a design for the Suns dancers, and I was up, I don't even know, almost 2 full days, no sleep, sewing these jerseys. I got them last minute. They needed them quickly. And I was questioning my entire existence. Like, is this even for me? Am I going to continue on? Am I even going to survive? Like, am I going to make it? I thought I was going crazy. But I was able to finish it on time, thankfully. It was a success. It was definitely a challenge, though. And that continues to happen to this day.
Oh, of course.
Like, whenever I know y'all see, I post at like 4 a.m. Like, hey, I'm still sewing.
Yeah.
So my schedule all
yeah. And that's a beautiful thing, but it's got to be so rewarding when you deliver this product, right? And I'm sure they're super thankful for it, because I'm sure they understand the time and effort you put into it. But it's also got to be rewarding to, either be at the game or watch on TV or even on social media and see them wearing your design on the court during a game.
For sure. That hits different. Like, just being on bigger platforms. I mean, it's a blessing just seeing somebody on the street wearing a product. But being at a game and then seeing not just one person, but a whole group of dancers on the court with all of these fans being able to see it, like, that's crazy. It's a crazy feeling. Yeah. The first time I ever saw it, I designed for the Suns dancers, and they were performing at halftime. With, who is it? Designer, the rapper.
Okay,
They were performing at halftime. Or no, I think it was halftime. And I was on the court recording, and I definitely cried.
Oh, shit.
It's so beautiful. Like,
As you
I
should.
worked hours and hours on this product, and it's just on the court, and they're just doing their thing, feeling confident, wearing my product. Like, that was a great feeling.
Yeah, I mean, that's a fire space to be.
Hell yeah. I mean, like I say all the time, if I can make clothes and like just give it away, I would totally do it. Because like there's no better feeling, no more rewarding feeling than someone even scrolling your stories and seeing someone with the leaders only hat. You know what I mean? Seeing someone with their own product. Like that feeling is like, bro, like you chose to take your hard earned money, you know what I mean, to invest in something that I created. You know what I mean? I'm like, that in itself it's priceless. You can't put a price on that. So I can only imagine seeing that on that big stage. You know what I mean? Like that has to feel good for sure.
Some people like take it for granted too.
Yeah, hell
They
yeah.
get sales and make money, and they don't realize like we're all hustling out here trying to make it.
Absolutely.
And I'm spending money on your product, like, or they're spending money on mine, and that's a blessing. And I thank everybody, all my clients. Shout out to you. I love y'all.
Like when it comes for the designer aspect of things, right? I want to make sure, as I said, we give back to the audience. You're a designer. I want you to please take us through the designing cycles of seasons. What do I mean by this? Are you already prepping for the next season that is going to be coming in before? How do you align those things to make sure that what you are releasing is not just another t-shirt that the world doesn't need?
Yeah, so I'm definitely preparing right now. Like you're mentioning seasons for the next NBA season. I'm working with the Pistons, the Spurs, the Kings, the Warriors. Like I'm planning that already. Nice. So my design process looks like, coming up with ideas and creating that lookbook and sending it over to, the director or whoever's in charge. And from there, we just go back and forth and make adjustments and really figure out what they want to do. I create samples, and from there, make the bulk product. It's a very long process. Sometimes I start designing like months in advance, and they don't wear the product for like 4 or 5 months. And there was one point when I was working on some custom puff vest for the Minnesota Timberwolves dancers. I think I started the design process in maybe July, and I sent them off like October, and then I was finally able to travel there and go to the arena and see the dancers in my products on the court. I think that was like November, December. So it's a very long process, but I'm always planning ahead and making sure everything, they have a lot of deadlines. So.
Yeah.
A lot of deadlines.
Yeah.
I also have a question too. I have 2 questions actually. One, how do you handle creative blocks? And then 2, does your inspiration come from designer, or does it come from is it fast fashion? That's like Shein and all that stuff like that.
Yeah.
Zara's, or is it just a multitude of designers? Or who are your favorite designers that you like, not look up to, but are inspirations for you?
I don't know if I necessarily have a favorite designer. I mean, if we're going like designer bags and stuff, I love Dior. But I don't really look up to anybody. Like, I feel like I'm my own inspiration.
I love that.
Fashion is really about breaking rules. There's no rules in fashion. Like, I have a tape measure on my ankle right now. Like, I was bringing out the yellow. I don't know if the camera could see, but like, it's about breaking rules and getting out of your comfort zone. I don't know if y'all saw, I created a corset made out of an actual basketball. I don't know.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw the socks,
Yeah.
the sock one too, the sock outfit. I was like, this girl made an outfit out of socks. That's crazy. I ain't never seen that.
It's just about breaking rules and experimenting. And
Yeah.
so I don't really look up to anybody. What was your first
Creative blocks.
Oh,
How do you deal with those?
Should I take a vacation?
Hey, I love that.
Get on the beach for a little bit and rejuvenate and
Get grounded.
Get grounded.
Get back
Yeah,
to it.
talk to God and get in some nature. You feel me? Hey, I feel you.
Sometimes a little margarita on the beach.
Yeah, that'll get your mind right. Yeah,
you right.
Hell yeah.
But it sounds like you juggle a lot. Like you're a designer, you're a businesswoman, running your social media. Like, how do you manage that? And how did you find your way of managing that?
Yeah, it's difficult. Entrepreneurship. Y'all are both entrepreneurs, and we're back here. It's a journey. It's a lot of sacrifice. So many sleepless nights. But I think I mean, y'all know that saying, like, when you love what you do, you never truly work a day in your life. You truly feel like that. I mean, some of those days where I'm up for days sewing and working, some of those days I'm like, okay, this is a job. Like, I'm tired. But at the same time, you know, I love what I do, so that helps a lot.
Yeah. So do you see in the future a scalability for shop crystals? Like,
definitely. I think just marketing more and paying for those ads, that could do a lot. But also expanding to more NBA teams, more NFL teams, and, you know, more. There's a million sports fans out here. Like, it doesn't have to be just basketball or NBA. It could be the Big 3 league, or it could be soccer, anything. It could be cheerleading. It doesn't matter. I create custom products, custom team gear. That could be for anybody, for real.
As someone who's so like locked in with fashion and the creativity behind it, when you're trying to scale and trying to build a team in order to produce and scale, you know, is it going to be hard for you to let go of some opportunity, like some responsibilities when it comes to design, because you see the fashion in your head and they may not see it? Because I'm the same way. Like, when it comes, I'm like, all right, you don't make content like how I see it. Like, I wish I can clone myself. We all talk about cloning ourselves. And so is that going to be hard for you to let some responsibilities go, especially when it comes to making clothes, even though they are customs? But in order to scale, you have to have a team. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh, for sure. And, you know, I've looked into hiring more people, but for me, like, this is my baby.
Yeah.
Like, it's hard.
We talk about it all the time. We talk about
and when it's custom, like you said, coming from my brain, I can't just hire just anybody. Because I have to trust you with my ideas and not just go off and steal them.
That's one of the, I mean, you deal with very, very high level people. So I do feel for you, because duplicating her,
very hard.
That's tough, man. Like, for example, my clients, sure, we're able to develop a certain look. And then now I've trained enough the team where they're able to do the same thing.
Yeah.
But for example, I actually wanted to pivot a little bit from this conversation. You deal with a lot of, I guess, levels of approvals, and you know, you send out, you know, hey, check this out. Do you feel like sometimes you're just put in a box, and then you're just not allowed to creatively work on what it is you would like to showcase? How do you deal with that?
No, actually, I don't feel like I've ever been put in a box. Thankfully, these clients that I work with, a lot of times people come to me and they're like, just create. I don't care. Just make me something.
Oh, that's great.
Okay. That's a little bit more challenging, to be honest, because now I'm like, okay, should I do something more professional, more chic care? No. But I don't know. Just creating in general with these clients that I have, it's just so fun. And bringing streetwear into the NBA, you know, dancewear is new. Most dance teams still have, you know, like the spandex uniforms, like typical NBA dancewear. So getting that opportunity to bring more streetwear and, you know, like the cargos and different things to these dance teams, it's been a blessing. Like, they've given me full creative
control.
That's great. That's great, because I've known sometimes dealing with certain corps, you have to stick to the brand's image and this and that. So just to hear the fact that they give you creative freedom, that's beautiful.
Yeah, I mean, they definitely have, you know, color codes and logos. That's very important to be perfect. But when it comes to designing, like, you know, definitely the creative freedom.
Yeah, and that kind of brings me to a question, because, so, like I said, we spoke with Boredom Kills guys in previous episodes, and the designer, Brando, he spoke about kind of his design process. And he spoke about, like, you know, he uses AI and stuff. And he goes certain ways with this. So, like, what does your design process look like typically when you get an order or you have a team contact you about something and what they want?
Yeah, I mean, what I mentioned previously was just like creating a lookbook for them. I just created a lookbook for the Golden State Valkyries owner.
Yeah.
So I'm waiting to hear back on that, but it took a whole day, you know. Like, I'm spending a lot of time going in and not only creating designs but also styling. That way people know how to wear the product. I hate to wear however you want, but a lot of people want that help, I guess, assistance on.
So do you charge? So do you charge off design and styling capabilities too, or just one whole package?
It kind of depends on if a client reaches out and they're like, okay, I need help styling this too, versus
Right.
I don't know, not really.
Not really.
I could definitely charge for that.
Yeah, we
but
definitely
I
have that.
think it all comes with.
Yeah, it comes. Yeah, it's a package
I'm
deal.
not trying to do anybody dirty.
Yeah.
Well, but see,
Overcharge.
like I get it. So, for example, it's just part of the business.
Yeah, it's just part of the
It's part of the business.
Yeah.
You're maximizing your profit because at the end of the day, the value that you bring to the table is very unique.
Yeah.
So, for example, if someone, buys the piece but don't know how to use it, it's not necessarily saying like, oh, the piece costs this much, and then if you want me to style you, is going to be extra. No. Eliminate that psychology from the client and then just integrate that extra fee in the overall process of it.
Yeah, and I love that because that's something I listen to a lot of Alex Hormozi. I don't know if you know who he is. He's like marketing extraordinary.
Yeah, you gotta go
business. Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
That's good.
We'll put you on. And one thing he always says, he's like, it's easier to add more value than to raise the price. So making yourself more valuable with something like that, because at the end of the day, it's why charge to style it when I made the fit for you, and I'm probably gonna be there anyway. And be like, hey, like, let's put this together. I gave you the lookbook. You know what it should look like. It's a business cost, right? Yeah. But even more so, I was hoping the conversation would get here, and I'm happy it got here naturally. But let's talk about this WNBA collab. So it's like, obviously you've been working with all these men's leagues, but now you're like in a women's league. I'm assuming this is your first time working with the WNBA team. And not only that, but like the inaugural season. So that's big. And we spoke about it off camera. You're etching their history now. So how excited are you for this collab, and like what's the best parts of doing this?
Yeah, I'm so excited. Like I mentioned previously, I haven't gotten out there to San Francisco yet to be able to see my work on the court yet. I plan to at some point, probably next month maybe. But yeah, I had about 4 weeks to create 48 uniforms, custom, never before seen, all for these dance teams. I designed for the hype team and the entertainment team. They're both dance teams that dance on the court at the NBA or WNBA games. So it's just such a blessing. Again, word of mouth advertisement. That's how this happened. They reached out to me based on a conversation they had with another NBA team. So I'm just so blessed for the opportunity and just to be able to see all these people dancing and feeling confident in my designs. I think that's most important. Yeah. Just seeing clients radiate confidence. That's, you want to look good, feel good, and attract more opportunities. So.
Right. But it's got to hit a little bit more because obviously we spoke about women empowerment. I think we're all on the same page about that. But like now working with a women's team, like this, it's got to hit a little bit more for you too.
Yeah, I mean, just seeing the growth all together with the WNBA the past few years, it's been beautiful. I used to play myself. I never really watched WNBA growing up. I wish I would have because there's a lot of key players that played a role in this growth of the WNBA. Yeah. But it's beautiful to see like the women getting attention and getting the recognition they deserve.
Yeah. Shout out to the W, man. Because I'm like you.
See, that's my girl, man.
Yeah.
Caitlin Carter, my girl, man. She be killing for real.
It's like almost like the WNBA was kind of getting buried there for a while.
Yeah.
So to see this revitalization.
Oh yeah, I was on when NCAA in the tournament. I was more excited about the women's NCAA tournament than I was the men's because Caitlin Clark, she was just balling, bro. And I'm just like, holy shit, like she's killing right now, and she's killing now in the league. So it's like it's definitely dope to see the WNBA growing as it should be and getting the recognition they deserve for sure.
But I love even that, like talking about the college game, like. Are you putting feelers out trying to get into some colleges and stuff too? I know the bag is getting big over there too now.
Yeah, I seen that with the
NIL. They giving out bread.
Yeah, for sure. That's definitely the goal. Reaching out to different teams. It all comes with contracts and licensing, and so we'll see. Yeah, it could be in the future, and even high school. Like, how many parents just want to support their kids at their games?
Yeah, plenty. Plenty.
Yeah, that's fire. And it's like, I do got to ask, though, selfishly, I'm a Knicks fan. You been working with the Knicks or what?
You said, have I?
Yeah.
Not yet. I mean, that's the goal. I designed a custom jersey and, like, some cargos. Just a Knicks fan. But, yeah, I mean, that's the goal, to branch out to all 30 NBA teams.
That's fire. And it's all word of mouth, too, like you said. So let's pray that naturally it comes that way, right?
I got you.
God's time.
Yeah.
I'm good with it.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Brookelynn, you have expressed that someone is able to build a platform, and if they miss the kingdom, or they can miss the kingdom, we've said. So how does your faith influence absolutely everything that is going on currently in your life?
Yeah, and like I said previously, I recently got baptized. So I'm very new to my faith. I got baptized last November in Mexico. It's a crazy story.
Okay.
In Mexico, yeah, random.
I would have expected to hear like some impact church or something, in Scottsdale, but okay, let's
It was in Mexico. It was crazy. But with that being said, being a woman of God, it comes with certain characteristics, you know what I mean? Like following God. Honesty is one of them, and also just doing right by others. That's so important to me. So making business decisions based on that and always doing right by others. I never want to get over on anybody. Be dirty. Again, it leads back to my legacy. I want people to remember me as kind and honest, authentic, genuine, reliable. You know what I mean? Those are all very important to me as a woman in general, but also a businesswoman.
Absolutely.
Oh, that's awesome.
I love that. I love that. I'm actually pretty intrigued. And the conversation.
Like the baptism?
No.
Wait, that too, though.
Well, definitely, yes. Definitely. I'm just for the people out there, I'm half Mexican, half Costa Rican. But definitely want to hear about Mexico because I don't think Mexico is known for baptizing people, but okay. No, what I'm actually really intrigued of is we know as entrepreneurs, we need to have a tough side of us, right? We do hear, and this is where I'm saying like the conversation may, for the viewers, get a little hot out there. How difficult is it for you in the dating life when it comes to you being an entrepreneur and having the sort of standards that are needed to make sure you make it?
Yeah, I mean, dating life, that's crazy. Like, where do I even get started? I mean, I've been told that I am, like, scary and that I intimidate men and intimidate girls. Like, I've been told that forever, you know what I mean? So being a woman entrepreneur and having those boundaries, it's difficult.
Yeah.
Sure, I need respect, and if you don't respect me, it's all good.
Mm-hmm. Do you find it very difficult finding someone that is also aspiring to the same level of things? Because there's a difference. I always say your actions speak louder. There's a whole lot of people out there yapping about how much game they've got and all the things that they're going to do. How difficult is it for you to truly identify like a guy that is about it and not about it?
That's showing up.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And how do you keep them check?
Yeah, I mean, it's about action, like you said. I don't really pay attention to it too often. Like, I have so many goals to reach. I don't do it too much. But yeah, it's hard. As a women entrepreneur, it's definitely difficult.
Because I'd imagine you need someone that understands what the schedule's like.
You need a personal assistant. You know what I mean? Like, hey, baby boy, I need flicks, I need content. You know what I'm saying? I need some help, brother. Shoot.
Well, I don't know if that will work in a relationship, bro.
Hey, man. That's what you signed up for, though.
But that's what my man will do. Like, I'll do that big turn.
Yeah.
My man has to be an entrepreneur as well.
Yes.
And we're going to be doing that together, like sell content and just being on point. Like, I posted on Threads before, too. Like, I can't even remember what I said. Something about, like, I need somebody in my life that I can share my business ideas with and we just grow it. Because I have thousands of ideas. Like, just waiting for the right one to take the Shark Tank, you know. So somebody in my life, whether it's a best friend or a man, they have to be on that type of time.
Yeah, and it's funny we haven't touched relationships on the show yet. So
Well, I mean, why not get the other perspective from the female side? You know,
I'm here with it because I agree with the vision of that, right? Because at the end of the day, especially being an entrepreneur and being a creative and doing all these things, even wanting to take the vacations, right? Like, being in a relationship, it's a partnership, so you need to be able to reciprocate that and help me through those times. You know, shit, like, it's late at night. I got 30 jerseys to make. Like, you gonna get over here and help? Or you gonna be over there yapping?
That has to be an obligation, especially someone at your stature and what you're doing. They have to come in understanding that, like, this is what it is. This is what I'm signing up for. You know what I mean? And that's just having, anybody. That's like anybody, man or woman. You have your boundaries. Like, okay, bet you see where I'm going. We got to be on the same page, because if we aren't on the same page, we ain't going to work. Yeah. Plain and simple. You know what I mean? It's nothing personal.
Or understanding the journey of the other person as well, right? Absolutely. Like, just being fully aware of where everybody is at. Because
yes,
I definitely hear you guys saying, like, oh, my man will be taking pictures and this and that. What happens if you encounter a male that is super in tune with his energy? The bag is not a problem, could fully support your current lifestyle, absolutely everything that you're doing. But he's a busy man too. But you have expectations now that your man is also supposed to be like completely pouring onto your building. Sure, he's there to assist you and help you hear your stories. How do you feel about that whole perspective of the guy is the guy and maybe you don't even have to work anymore?
Yeah, I mean, shoot, that's been offered to me. Like,
yeah, I'm sure.
But I don't want that. Yeah. Obviously, I want a man that's an entrepreneur and has his own things going. And it's not like, you have to take pictures for me this day at this time. That's what a photographer is for. I have to say, like, when we're together, like, that's important, just to, like you said, reciprocate that energy and be on the same timing.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. The energy has to be reciprocated, because at the end of the day, it's like, what are you doing? Either you're supporting full time because maybe you're not an entrepreneur and you are taking the pictures, or you are busy enough where you understand my point of view as a business owner as well. And I'm trying to see, maybe you help me grow from here.
Yeah, I mean, it's about growth altogether, whether it's a friendship or a relationship. Together, if you're not growing, what's the point?
Exactly. Absolutely.
Especially with two people are busy, especially two entrepreneurs dating with another, it's all about, like, peace. You know what I mean? Like, when I'm done with my shit, and you're done with my shit, like, okay, bet, we're at peace now. Because, like, fuck, I can finally just chill and not think about, even though as entrepreneurs we think about this shit, it never stops. People talk about having a 9 to 5, you know what I mean? And yeah, that's 9 to 5, but you turn that shit off when you go home. I wake up every second of the day. The first thing I'm thinking about, okay, but I need to do this for my business. I need to do that for my business. I'm here right now thinking, fuck, I got to make content. I got to make content for this now or the third as we're doing this podcast. You know what I mean? So it's like, it's literally a 24/7 gig. So I think, when two people are doing the same thing when it comes to entrepreneurship, I think having that sense of peace with one another once you're done, you're never fully done, but it's like, fuck, I can finally just like, I can hug this person and be like, let that little anxiety and that shit drop a little bit. You know what I mean? So I think that's pretty important.
Yeah, peace is definitely important. That's with everything. Like, I would be alone before I'd be with anybody that's...
I'd rather be alone in my peace than with someone in chaos.
Yeah.
That's a good one. I ain't never heard that one. I like that one.
Oh, no, I just pulled it out of my ass.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I like that one. Hey, all my soul.
Oh, but that's real stuff, bro. Because at the end of the day, it's like, you spoke about being an empath. So, like, it's not only peace, but making sure that you have a partner that creates that safe space for you, that you can come to with the problems, not only in the good times, but is there through everything, right? Because at some point, like, you don't turn it off, but you want to unplug for a second. So you want someone that allows you to be comfortable in that space, and, like, we could just go sit on the beach. Like, let's book a flight. Let's go.
Yeah, man. So, for example, I got lucky. My wife, she's a stay-home mom. She takes care of the kids, but I'm the one that provides, and I'm the one that shows up with action. So for example, we're talking about all the chaos of being an entrepreneur. A lot of people wouldn't go walk the sons to sell stuff. On Monday, just to give you a quick breakdown of what happened this week alone. Monday, had to meet with like 5 different people throughout the whole valley. Had to catch a flight at 7 p.m. Landed in Austin at 12. I was catching a cold. Got fevered that night, had to wake up at 6 in the morning to be at the office with this new guy. It was a full-on training for 2 days, feeling like shit. Yesterday, flew in like at 10. We were thinking about maybe canceling the podcast because of how bad I was feeling. And the reason why I bring my wife is I get home and it's my peace. Shout out to my wife, man.
Like, shout out.
Peace, bro. Like, I get home and the feeling that you get as a man coming to a home is just it's unvaluable. Yeah. So it's
No, we love that. We love that because we got to big up our women around here, man. We got to make sure that energy is put out through here and let women know, like, this is a place where you're welcome to, a safe space for everybody.
Yeah. Yeah, we need to start showcasing more female entrepreneurs for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm sure this ain't gonna be the only time you hear. Cause
you'll come back.
For sure.
We need to hear.
I'm not turning around. Like, I got questions for you. Bring all your people back, and we all got questions for you.
Yeah, look, I mean, if you got questions,
Irene, you're everything in general. Like, I know you're so good, Terrell. You're so good, like on Threads and TikTok and Instagram. Just your consistency is crazy. You've been popping up on my newsfeed every day. Maybe because I'm always reading your posts.
Yeah. I appreciate that's love. That's love. A little bit of automation, a little bit of AI, a little bit of everything.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I'm gonna need some help with that.
You want to go ads?
Yeah,
that's the man.
The dude right there.
That's the man you want to talk to. Yeah.
Costa's real. Costa gets real humble, man.
Yeah, he's humble.
Like he's a genius. Now we always talk about it. Us three talk every day.
Yeah.
I think the past couple of days
we've been busy, right?
We've been busy, man.
Like, you've been in Texas, dealing with my content shit, like the classrooms,
everything. All that, bro.
The app.
But we talk every day, and it's to the point. One of us get a business opportunity, we're in the chat like, yo, I just got hit with this.
Yeah.
What do y'all think? Like, and this man, every single time, he's like, well, what are they offering? What's your value? Mm-hmm. Like, look, you
need somebody in your ear to remind you.
Absolutely. And he'll check it quick. He'll check it like, nah, bro.
You know what? I'm just glad. See, I gotta say this, man, and T, I gotta be transparent, man. Like, in my previous circles, non-entrepreneurs and forward thinkers, my transparency has gotten me in trouble. And not that I'm an asshole or some sort of dick, and the way I say anything like that is just. I just say the way I feel, and I'm just respectful about it. And yesterday, right, I was like, hey, man, with transparency, man, you're my boy, but X, Y, and Z. Yeah. And I was like, we just need to hear more about it and this and that. So, no, it's good. It's good that we finally found a good circle that works all together, and we supplement each other. Like you said, T is a mastermind when it comes to like personal branding, marketing, and whatnot. Nico, the way he's able to tap into his audience and just make sure the connection is there. We're all supplementing each other over here. And again, if you have any other questions, if you ever need any help whatsoever, we're here for you.
Yeah.
Oh, I do need help. My consistency on like content is definitely lacking. I could be better. I don't know. It's not really a priority to me at this point. It's because, which I'm so blessed, I feel a lot of clients come to me. There was a point where I wasn't posting at all, probably like 3 months of no posting. But every single day I got DMs like, hey, I want to order this. And that's the biggest blessing ever. Yeah. Because sometimes you're tired. Like, you just don't want to create.
The thing that people would get confused is that making content is about making money. So if you're already making money, fuck the content. You know what I'm saying?
And content is for staying relevant, top of mind. That's what content is. But, I mean, T says it all the time. If the message is not dialed, and what's the end goal? But T, go ahead and touch on that, please.
Messaging is so important. You got to have, I try to talk to people I talk to all the time, especially in my community. I say, look, you guys don't have a content problem. You have a messaging problem because you're trying to talk to too many people at once rather than talking to one avatar, one person, one specific person. And then once you do that and you dial that in, they kind of just gravitate to you. You know what I mean? But I think people try to like spread themselves. They try to spread themselves too thin. They try to talk to so many different people. This person, this age group, that age group, man, women. You know what I mean? If you dial it down to one person in your messaging, everybody will gravitate to you, and it makes it easier to sell to them because you've witnessed their pain points. You know how you can solve their problems and answer all their questions, and then you can provide them with the service. You know, especially with clothes, you're talking to, which I was actually wondering, do you plan on just doing sports fashion, or do you want to venture off and do high fashion?
That's a great question. That's what I actually was wondering. What's the end goal as well?
Is the end goal being you want to be your own Dior? So you're like, yo, like, you know what I mean? Dior, hey, Dior, I'm going to see you at Fashion Week in Paris. You know what I'm saying? Is that like the goal? Or
yeah, I mean, I kind of rebranded Shop Crystals again. I started with bikinis and velours and sweatsuits and denim. I brought it to LA Fashion Week. I did all those things, and it was fun. But once that jersey hit and it went viral, that's when I rebranded the whole Shop Crystals to team gear strictly. I still have people reaching out like, hey, my birthday's coming up. Can you make I'm just turning those opportunities down at this point just because I'm focusing, like you said, on that team gear and those clients. But yeah, I have so many business ideas. A streetwear brand is.
Hey, what I can tell you, is what I just hit him yesterday with this. I have gotten hit with this tons of times. Shiny object syndrome. You have 1,000 ideas. Trust me, we entrepreneurs, we're wired like that. Boom, I see money here, I see money there. Yes, now we are in the game of learning how to say no.
Yeah. Telling yourself no is hard.
It's is moving you away from the actual end goal.
Yeah, because money's always going to be left on the table.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. But for example, is Dan Martell talks about him having one of his close friends, and he had a portfolio of like 10 different businesses. And the friend kept complaining how the other 8 businesses weren't doing too well, like where he wanted to. It's like, well, how much money do you want to make? Well, I want to make X amount. Okay, there's 2 businesses that are doing really well. Completely eliminate all the other ones. Focus 100% on those 2. Within a year, he got to where he wanted to be because he was just way too distracted. Yeah. And people don't know how to navigate that.
Yeah, sure. And that's why I haven't promoted other businesses or anything that I have in the works. Not that I really spend that much time on them, but they're in the back of my head.
Of course,
absolutely. Eventually. Again, God's timing, I give it to him. Like, whenever it happens, it happens. But I'm moving with this lane right now. It's obviously successful and so much growth. It can expand easily to other teams, like I say, college, high school, all that. So.
You got your customer avatar down. Yeah, I think your messaging is great. That's why you're so successful, because it's very clear and concise on what you do. It's not, there's no confusion. People come to your page, they see NBA, they see WNBA, they see jerseys, they see apparel for them. That is your target. So that's why you don't need to create content. No. You know what I mean? I was saying you don't need to. Obviously, you do it, but it's not as important as someone who's trying to find that lane. So because you're already doing good, your word of mouth is so good. That's the best marketing there is, bro. Like, it doesn't get any. The paid ads is great. Organic ads, like organic content. That's what I do. I'm the same with you. I don't even run ads. So I do organic. Everything I do is organic.
I was going to even say at this point, it doesn't even sound like you need ads. All you need is just top of funnel. And even then, like, we could, after the podcast, we could take a couple of minutes, but we could, I totally see you. We've talked about viral formats, ASMR and things like that. I could totally see you doing just putting your camera up, recording like your process, and then because you have a pleasant voice, you could just do voiceovers. Of your back design process and things like that.
Yeah, and my voiceovers do.
Yeah, I've seen your voiceovers. Yeah, they just take a lot of time to do, huh?
Yeah, I mean, I got restart over and over, make sure it sounds right. Yes. But yeah, I do day in the life videos of voiceovers, and they do well. I don't know, like you said, I appreciate that confirmation. Just letting me know, I don't have to prioritize content all the time. Yeah. Because I get down on myself a lot, as an entrepreneur.
Absolutely. We all do.
I'm on social media, what can I post today? And I had, one of your questions, I have thousands of videos and pictures of designs that I've just never posted. And I don't know why. It's I recorded it, and I think the world has seen it just because it's in my camera roll. I don't know. It's so weird.
I think it's easy to fall into that as a creative, though.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. It's easy to fall into the fact that you post something once, you feel like you can't post it again. Yeah. I tell everybody.
I reuse content.
Yeah, I'm
like a mother.
I might be the king of repurposing content. I repurpose my ass off. I'll post something from 10 years ago. All my videos that people see on my page, I've literally recorded those 5-6 years ago. Yeah. You know what I mean? But you keep posting it. You know what I mean? So don't ever hesitate to repost your content, repurpose it, even if you posted already. 9 times out of 10 people are locked in on their own lives. Yeah. They're not paying attention. You know what I'm saying? So you're, like I said, Bo, you're good. You're doing everything right. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? I wouldn't even stress over content. Don't even you're doing everything you're supposed to do. Make rushing content and just producing good quality content is 2 different things. Don't just think I got to put out something just to put it out. Yeah. If you're going to make a piece of content, take your time with it just like you've been doing and then put it out because you're already getting people. Your messaging is so good. It's on point. They don't have to worry about making content every day. Some people are still trying to figure it out and using it as a funnel for their businesses it's a little bit different. You know what I mean? They got to mass produce content because they're selling a different product. Your product is, you know, they're selling a course, they're selling different things, they're selling clothes, they're trying to sell it to the masses. You're trying to sell it to select people who have the budget to even afford you. So your clientele is different. You know what I mean? So you're doing a great job.
That's what I was going to lead to, because it's like you have a very specific situation. Because your avatar is not even really on Instagram. No. Your avatar is not on TikTok. Your avatar is big leagues.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, and these people don't really spend time in that. Like, your profile has now become your portfolio, if anything. And it's more like, hey, like, we got this girl. She designs for this person, this person, this person. It's dope designs. Hey, take a look. You know what I mean? So I don't think you're in a space where you need to create content every day, because your work kind of speaks for itself. You know, I think it's more, if you're going to create content, I would venture to say, and either back me up or tell me if I'm wrong, but now it's more like, what's the life of Brookelynn like?
Exactly. That's what I meant. Kind of like behind, showcasing her designing process through voiceovers, and not necessarily trying to be all cinematic and aesthetic and all of that. Just very down to earth.
Yeah, raw.
See, that's hard for me. Like, I'm very protective over my energy. I'm a very private person. Like, I don't share my real life at all. Like, people just know about my business, basically, on social media.
But that's the beauty of social media. You're able to pick and select what it is that you want to showcase.
Right. That's something I could do better on, for sure, is just be more vulnerable and showing the BTS, which I don't do often. A lot of it's, like, secretive, you know? You can't
I get it. Don't
I mean, there's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong with keeping a private life. Like I said, if what you're doing is working, I don't even think you need to go that route, to be honest with you, because you're trying to make a living. You know what I mean? That's what you're trying to do. If that's for your business, if you want to build a personal brand, okay, then that's a little bit different. You gotta let people in. You know what I mean? That's, you know, I know it's hard, but it's like, you know, if you want to build a personal brand, but your business is doing so well, you know what I mean? So it's like, it depends on what you want to do. You know what I mean? So it really depends. But I think, again, you're doing fine.
Because this dude's probably like the master at that, right? Like, taking a brand that's he's already built to succeed with leaders only, and building his personal brand off of that and using it to kind of trampoline him to the next level. And like he said, like, that's more like, if you're trying to go from Brookelynn, shot by crystals, working with the NBA, to, hey, this is the person that I am, more of a lifestyle, building myself. I want to be able to create different streams of revenue off of who I am, rather than just the product I create.
Well, I feel like I've become the face of my brand. Like, and it's all footwork in person. Like, I go to the Suns games. I know a lot of the fans. I'll go in and be like, hey, it's so good to see you. I'll see you somewhere. You know what I mean? Very personable with my clients. And that's the way I like it. My stomach is growling. Did you hear that?
We can't pick it up. Don't even worry about it, because we can't pick it up. No, you're
good. Hey, mine are growling too, though. I haven't ate nothing this morning, so I feel you.
Yeah, but just being in person and, you know, meeting these people and just being personable and really creating connections. At the end of the day, that's what's important. Is relationships and, again, impacting.
Nico touched on something very important, and he said, multiple sources of income. You created, or you recently launched, Logos by Brookelynn, correct?
Yeah. Well, I created that maybe when I first started my business. I just created that page basically to be able to help other people and their brands. I don't promote it too often, but it definitely comes up in conversation when I'm speaking with my clients. I just want to be a vessel. I want to be able to help other people, and I have a blessing, a talent, to be able to do graphic design or sew, or, you know, create these designs and bring them to life. I think that's important, and I just want to help other people, whatever that may entail. Like,
I see workshops.
Exactly.
I see workshops, group workshops.
So now if we touch, there's a reason why I brought the design Logos by Brookelynn, because of what we just touched on. If now you're trying to pour back into your community with this way, the content strategy completely becomes different. So what you're doing right now for the business that you're doing now, perfect. But if at any moment you do decide maybe grow this side, build a community, you start teaching workshops and whatnot, then for sure it would have to change.
I wouldn't even do one-on-one mentorships. Like you said, I would do group workshops of the basics of being a seamstress, because so many people want to learn, and education is a $1 billion industry.
I have, and this is great. And this, okay, talking about ideas. I have a client. They teach eyebrow microblading. I could totally picture you charging, $2,500 per head, as a test point, and then you fill a room up to 20 people. You want to make it more private? 10 people, $5,000 each head.
Yeah.
And then you just completely teach them everything that you've learned from scratch. How valuable would that be?
Yeah, that's beautiful. That's a great idea.
Now, that's the route if I were you, I would go for.
This is I love seeing him work when he gets in this mode, because this is what I talk about all the time. It's like we start one conversation and then he's like, "This is the offer we could bring. Like, this is where we need to go." Yeah. So it's like to speak to that, like get with this man. Yeah,
of
course. There we go.
I have too many people in my life that hold me accountable and bring ideas to me. It's always me, like being the encouragement and helping other people. So that's great. I appreciate you.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, like one of the ways that you could even start rolling things out is start collecting data. You have 25,000 followers. Depending how engaged everything is and whatnot, start doing polls.
Yeah.
Or a story? Would you guys be interested just to kind of start seeing?
Yeah. And the customer that wants it will come to you.
Absolutely.
Like obviously, don't worry about price at that point, because you're too, honestly, to be quite frank, like you're too fucking busy doing all this other stuff. Like this is a blessing, like for me to take the time out and do that. So it's like, even with you, like, do you do any mentorships? Not just like yourself mentoring someone else, but like, do you have mentors and people you go to for that?
No, I have nobody in my life that I look up to in that lane. That's what I'm just looking for. And I appreciate like this time, like being in y'all presence and just being here. Because I definitely want to learn from you guys too. You'll probably have knowledge to share with me just based on what we've been speaking about today. I wake up every day and I want to learn. Like I crave knowledge every single day. And I think that's so rare, especially being a woman, meeting other women that are in that same mindset and just focused on business and being successful. It's rare.
Yeah, absolutely. No, absolutely. I wanna want to say the door here is always open for you. Like you have to have space here in this space. You're part of family for the NDO podcast. So maybe we'll find somewhere to incorporate Shop by Crystals in here as well, and just make sure you're highlighted. But this has been a great session.
Yeah,
we got so much out of this conversation, and
absolutely,
it was great to have some energy.
Oh yeah,
some female energy in the studio for sure.
Yeah, some feminine energy. I tell you, too much testosterone in this motherfucker.
Yeah. So we're gonna have to have you back, and we want to check up on you and know when you go out to San Francisco, how's this Valkyrie thing coming on and all that stuff. So we're gonna be in touch as well, and you're more than welcome to pick anybody's brain here. But tell the people where to find you.
Yeah, you can find me on Instagram and TikTok and Threads at by Brookelynn. That's with the E and 2 N's, okay?
Yeah. We'll make sure to drop that somewhere in the video.
For sure. E and 2 N's. Get it wrong. Yeah, on Instagram. And then also my website is shopcrystals.com. You can book a consultation and get on the phone with me and figure out what's next for you.
Oh, there we go. I love that.
We love that. But, thank you, Brookelynn, for taking the time.
Thank you.
And making this happen. And at the end of the day, you guys out there, we want you right here on the couch with us. So, we're trying to create we are creating a beautiful.
Yeah, we have been creating. This is episode 7, bro.
It's been beautiful, man.
Yeah.
It truly has.
Yeah.
To be able to hear all and the stories and what it has taken, this truly has been beautiful.
It's dope, and it's been so genuine, you know what I mean? It's been laxed, you know what I mean? I feel like I don't know, I can't speak for other podcasts, but I know every guest that we've had, they've all said, it's just like, it's cool, it's just genuine. The questions are good, because this man's a menace. He be going through.
Yeah, your question.
Mr. Nardwar.
I'll be trying, man.
So it's been a blessing. Again, thank you for coming on and taking time out of your busy schedule. I know you are busy, so it means a lot to us.
Yeah.
If you guys feel we missed anything that we should have asked, if you guys feel that we should have went more in depth into any topics, leave it in the comments.
Yeah.
Make sure you guys hit that subscribe button. We're going to keep doing our best to keep showcasing some of the best entrepreneurs that we could just for you guys.
Absolutely.
So until next time.
Until next time, be easy.
Peace.